Today, every day, small cap investors visit Agoracom knowing this is the day to discover the world's next great company, to have their dreams come true. That's why I take to the open road, to find them, to tell their stories, to engage them, to bring them to life, because they want to connect with you from your office, your phone, your home, anywhere. Agoracom, find your dream.
Welcome to Beyond the Press Release, a production of Agoracom, in which we take the time to speak with small cap executives right after they put out important news. With us again, we're happy to have her back, Hamutal Yitzhak. She's co-founder and CEO of Else Nutrition, trades on the TSX Venture under the stock symbol BABY, baby, amazing stock symbol, and it has relevance. And for our friends in the US, under BABYF. Now, for those of you new to the story, you know that Agoracom loves to discover great disruptive companies. Well, Else Nutrition, it is an Israeli-based, award-winning, plant-based food nutrition company. It gives small cap investors an opportunity to participate in the global paradigm shift towards plant-based foods and clean label foods. More than just lip service, the company, its last financial statements report over $10 million in cash in the bank. It's backed by the subsidiary of a $1 billion Hong Kong listed company who owns more than 11% of the company and wants to help Else grow in international markets. They've been awarded patents in 22 countries. 44 more countries are pending, and they've got the world's first 100% plant-based, non-dairy, non-soy baby formula, and they're hitting it out of the park. Hamutal, welcome back to the show.
Hey. I'm very excited for this interview. We have very exciting times at Else, and we are ready to shoot.
Well, you have some of the most enthusiastic, loyal shareholders anywhere, so they're going to be happy to hear from you. You've announced just in the last couple of weeks 3 big business development style news releases. First thing I want to congratulate you on is the most recent one. Congratulations on the announcement of the pre-orders and the first commercial run. What is the importance of this press release? What is that milestone?
Well, I think it's quite obvious that we have been delivering whatever we have promised to our stakeholders. We promised to go to market within a year from listing, and that's what we did. We had just 1 month delay due to COVID. I think that's quite an achievement. So thanks to our really professional and very dedicated team, we've managed to bring the product to market in the US and in Canada. And this is a great achievement to bring the first non-dairy, non-soy, 100% plant-based toddler nutrition into this market. We're so excited.
The other news that you put out, and I love it because it's real biz development news, is you've signed broker agreements now with 3 reputable natural food retail brokers. You're close to signing with a 4th broker. How significant is that, knowing that you're close to being on the shelves of America?
Yeah, well, this is also one of the most important excitements. I mean, we're going to be online in our e-store first and in an Amazon store. This should go, directly in this few coming weeks. But right after that, I believe that it should take about 2 to 3 months to get into those shelves. This is one of the biggest excitements, because this is a milestone that has been achieved by Else, and we are ready to serve and to cater the parents and the babies that have been anticipated for such a product and for such an alternative for so long. So being on shelf is a little bit different and even a greater milestone than selling online, and we are so excited about that too.
What was the feedback from these natural food retail brokers? What was it that they loved so much about the product and why they want to represent it? Because I know it's not easy to convince a retail broker to take on your product. So what do you think the big plus was for them?
Well, they realized immediately what's the uniqueness and what a paradigm shift this product is bringing into the market. I mean, to understand that actually this wasn't existing anytime in the 120 years backwards. If you go backwards, you only see one ingredient, or I'd say, I mean, this is the majority. Cow milk, cow milk, cow milk. There's multiple vendors, but it's all the same, made of cow milk, and they understand how unique an opportunity it is for them, and also for the rest of the value chain to put this product online. And actually, it's a win-win situation for everybody. So they understand, and they're so enthusiastic about it. And also all the people that they are in touch with, including distributors, and we are talking and being approached by the largest distributors in the natural space. And I mean, everywhere down the road, also with retailers, everybody is so excited about this opportunity.
How has, I mean, the market for plant-based, clean label, organic foods obviously is progressing. What does the demand market look like now out there? What's the demand from people, from your brokers, from retailers? Is it just continuing to increase at a fast pace?
Yeah, well, the demand is something that we can see, first of all, from consumers. I mean, brokers and retailers are not the generators of demand. They are just, I'd say, reflecting the demand that comes from the real market, from consumers. So we are in direct connection with consumers for a certain period. Like, I'd say in the past few months, we started some social marketing, and we are doing a lot of work around the brand, and we are building the awareness to the brand. Currently on a low budget, but we will increase while we launch. So we are talking to, I myself read almost every comment, and I see the excitement. I see the need. I see the need from parents who were seeking for an alternative, whether they have problems like some kind of intolerance or some kind of sensitivity, which is so prevalent nowadays, or whether they just want to prevent from cow's milk because they think it's less healthy, or it harms the environment, or it harms animal welfare. So there's so many reasons why people would like to have just an alternative for something that's really only a single source. And an alternative is so requested. It's something that really must be. And here it is, like something that we've imagined for so many years. Here it is now in front of our eyes coming.
One way or another, you're going to need some strong, manufacturing partnerships to fulfill what sounds like real demand for Else products. How is that looking? How are those progressing? Those manufacturing partnerships, manufacturing agreements?
Yeah, well, so we have been announcing a few months ago about an MOU with a leading US manufacturer, an infant grade manufacturer. And we've been doing this manufacturing run, this first commercial run with him. So the agreement and the relationship between us are wonderful. We have a very strong and friendly relationship with that manufacturer. And we anticipate to sign an agreement, to finalize an agreement, which has already been finalized actually, but we had to wait a little bit just to validate some technological parameters that had to go into this agreement. And there was no other way but just waiting until the first commercial batch. And that's what we've done.
Makes sense.
To sign the manufacturing agreement very, very soon. We'll be announcing that, I hope, in the next couple months, maybe before that. But everything is in place and everything is under control in terms of manufacturing and putting the product into the market.
We're talking about we talked about shelves a little bit more through the retail brokers, but where do you expect? Obviously, online demand is going to be very strong as well. So how do you expect the online side to go? Now we know that the shelves are taken care of because you got 3, maybe even 4 reputable brokers, so they're going to take care of that. How do you expect the online side to go?
Yeah, well, the online is going to be supported by very strong, actually, it's not only the online, everything. The demand is going to be supported and created through our marketing efforts, which are mainly focusing on the social channels, but doing a lot of different activities, including many influencers and influential marketing. We've been engaging with a lot of influencers in the States and Canada to promote the product, but they only choose the products that they want to work with. So they are excited about the product because they really haven't seen such a thing. So they're going to promote our products to their followers, which sometimes may be thousands, hundreds of, tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands, depends on the size of the influencer. So this is one activity. We're doing a lot of, Facebook and Instagram activity. You can follow us on everybody can follow us on our social channels. So we're doing that. We are currently working on a hero campaign that will be launched with the product. We're doing a lot of other activities with PR. We have announced that we have engaged with a very strong PR agency in the States that was doing also Beyond the Burger PR. So it's very strong, and we anticipate a very strong traction coming from there. So we are going to support the demand and the e-store and Amazon store online sales through that. Of course, we're going to do activity of promoting the brand in Amazon. We've hired the best experts in that space. So it's all taken care of.
Hamital, I got to tell you, before I go on to my next question, you know what's really impressive about all this? That you're able to do all this and keep the company and its progress going almost uninterrupted, despite the fact that global retail, global everything was disrupted by COVID-19. So that's a real testament to you and your team there, that you could have easily put up your hand and said, listen, guys, we know we promised something last year, COVID this, COVID that. It looks like it's going to be the first quarter of 2021. Is that, for sure it's attributable to your team, but is that also another sign of how powerful the demand is for Elsa's products, that the market really wants this and just powered through COVID-19, whereas most other products have been delayed and pushed back?
Sure. I mean, we could have done that. We could have just, right when it happened, it all started, we could have said and announced, listen, everything is delayed and we're not going to make it on time. But I can tell you, first of all, it's the team. It's the team spirit that we got, that nobody agreed to do that. Surely not I, but not all the rest of the team. I mean, they all said, we're going to struggle, whatever happens. And that was back in March or February, where it all started. Nobody knew what's going to be the impact of that. But we said, we're going to make it. We're going to make it on time and with minimum delay, whatever happens. We're going to struggle, and that's what we did. We struggled. We really struggle every day because there's so many, there's always obstacles to overcome, and it's all good. But we are pioneering. We are pioneering in every way. So everything is difficult. It's not easy to manufacture something that's completely different. It's completely new. No one's done that. Cow milk formula are being manufactured for centuries. So they have all the knowledge and all the procedures, right, and everything is, we're starting something completely new. And every piece of that is so difficult. And despite that, we have such a great team that really struggled to make it on time. And we've just been delaying in 1 month. And this is a great achievement for all these guys that are working for else. And I think this is the most important thing. So COVID, on one hand, did not harm us, substantially, but we can say that it also contributed to the demand for else, for such a product like else, because people today are, people have, I think something has dropped down into their minds that they understand, or all of us understand, how badly we exploited this planet, how badly we exploited all the resources of this planet. And we want to, I think all of us want in some way someone to help us, or some companies that could help alleviate those ailments, those things that we've done, reduce the pressure on animals, reduce the pressure on the planet, create more sustainability. This is not just a slogan. It's a real world. It's a real word.
And the passion comes through. That's for sure, Hamatal.
Yeah.
The passion really comes through. This isn't just about we want to make a lot of money. You can see that.
Absolutely. We want to make a lot of money, but before that, we want to do good.
Yeah.
That's the most, otherwise, you will never succeed. You want to do good, and then you want to make money. That's the second thing.
Let's talk about what international looks like. So it looks like the U.S. is looking good. You've got a fantastic strategic partner in New H2. How is that partnership progressing? And I know a big part of that partnership was not only financial backing, which was tremendous, but they want to help you expand into Europe and internationally. How's that looking?
Well, that's also been going on through COVID. We've been in very intensive discussions with H&H Global. Actually, we are, making this weekly or even bi-weekly discussions about how to approach the European countries that are on the plate. So actually, we're talking about France, and we are in discussions in many aspects of learning the market, understanding what we can sell in that market, what is the regulation, what are consumers thinking, what are their demands. It seems like the French market is very similar in terms of the trendiness about plant-based, the extent of the flexitarian community there is almost the same. I mean, a third of the population are declaring themselves as flexitarians, and that's the same thing in the US. A third of the population are already saying, I'm a flexitarian. I want to avoid animal protein or animal ingredients as much as I can. And we've been researching the market. We get a lot of information from our from H&H, which have a base in France. And we are on discussions to launch a product. I believe that would be happening in the first quarter of the next year. So we're
talking to you. It's not just going to be a great year for Else. It sounds like it's going to be a great decade. We've both said the word paradigm shift, and you're backing that up with real evidence from the ground, from your partners who are telling you on the street that demand for these products are rising. People have, A, they want to be healthier. B, they're just gaining a greater awareness of what it means to the planet. So just to this part of the interview alone, I'm excited about not the rest of 2020, but what the rest of the decade is going to look like, and whether we're all watching the birth and growth of a global power. I have to say that. But as I say that, I have to ask you, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about competition, because naturally it is paradigm shifting. Look, everyone's rushing. You've got retail, you got brokers rushing in to represent you. There's got to be other competition out there. There got to be other people who are seeing the same thing. What does the competition look like? How do you position yourself as being better than them?
Yeah, well, so actually, to be honest, I think that we have you were mentioning a great decade and becoming a power, a global power. And I do believe we have the potential to do that. First of all, you need the potential and the willingness and the excitement to do that. Whatever happens, and I'm not sure it will be, because I'm not a prophet, but what I can assure you that we have that spirit in our team, and we believe that we can get there, and we believe that we can make a real change in this world, and we're here to change. So this is one thing, and I'm saying it with all the seriousness. But regarding our competition, or what's the competitive landscape, so what you see around you is mainly milk, cow milk. That's what you see. You don't see plant-based. I know there's a pea protein plant-based toddler nutrition that's already there. It's just the first, the first thing that we saw. There's some rice. There's some rice infant nutrition in Europe. It's not in the States. So there are some attempts to make a change, but it's completely different from the way we approach it. So the paradigm shift that we are making, I'm talking about 95% of the infant nutrition and toddler nutrition is based on cow's milk. The rest is soy, and very small percentage you can see goat milk and things like that. There's nothing else.
Wow.
There's nothing really. And it has been like that for over a century. And what we are making is a paradigm shift, but it's not just a slogan, as I said, it's a real thing. So the first level would be the change of the ingredients, because you had only cow milk and soy, and then now new ingredients come. So new ingredients that cow milk and soy actually had, the reason they're there is that they had to imitate the breast milk composition, and nothing else could do that until now. So we're coming with new ingredients that provide this holy grail demand, or this holy grail requirement to imitate the human milk composition, nutritional composition, the way another formula does. But what else consumer or else customer can enjoy from is the pros without having those cons. And these two ingredients, cow milk and soy, have cons. They have a lot of impact on sustainability, on our health, and on animal welfare. And we are there to change that. So this is the first paradigm shift that we are doing, and it's quite obvious. But there's another paradigm shift which is more radical and much, much more important. And this is something none of the formulas, the rice formulas or any type of attempt to do this never changed that. And this is the most important thing. I'm not sure everybody understands that, but this is a real thing. So what we are doing is, let's put it in a simplified way. Until now, and there is no other formula whatsoever that changed that, the way to produce infant nutrition was first to take the ingredients and break them down into their building blocks and actually to break their chemical structure, to change the chemical structure, get rid of what's not doesn't have to be there, and leave what has to be there and reconstitute it. But all the ingredients are highly processed. They're extremely processed, and in some formulas they're even processed with solvents, with a type of a chemical. So this is something that you cannot change, because this was a necessity. Otherwise you couldn't get the real composition of human milk, because you had to get rid of some things, or some of the proteins, some of the fats which were not right, and reconstitute everything to meet the breast milk composition. What we have discovered, or what we have invented, is something that takes 3 ingredients, superfoods, and hardly touches them. They are kept intact, almost intact, and we are processing them in a very minimal way, with very, very natural instruments, without touching their chemistry, without breaking them into their building blocks, without reducing or taking off things that were not there, because we're taking the whole almond, the whole buckwheat, and the whole carbohydrate that we're using from cassava root. We're taking them all, and we're making almost an intact natural formula that is clean label, clean process, with no compromises. And this is the paradigm shift. It's something that has to do with technology, but the impact of it to the consumer, to the end consumer, and to the one that is really taking that formula, that's our baby, it's a huge impact in terms of its health, and of course in terms of sustainability, and in terms of so many other things that people are looking for today. So
and from a competitive landscape, that almost sounds almost impossible to beat.
It is impossible. No one has made it. It's only for us to do. And this is why we're something else. We're different. We're not saying we're better, because you don't want to say something. You don't want to say something bad about that raised generations on generations. They're all good. But this industry is changing, and it's getting more and more industrialized. Getting cow's milk today is not like getting a cow milk 50 years ago. It's different, and it gets more industrialized, even as a raw ingredient. So everything is changing now, and people were striving to get something cleaner
for their babies. Because if you're an adult, George, yourself, you have different options. If you want to be plant-based and if you have clean nutrition, if you want to have the option of clean nutrition, you can choose. You can go to the supermarket and you go to the shelves, you got plenty of choices in that space. And there are lots of companies working on these products. But in the infant space or toddler space, there is nothing. There is no choice. So
I'm jealous. I'm jealous of infants because they get to have your product and we don't. I have to go to the store and find Joe Schmo's product. I'm going to drink the infant formula regardless.
You should.
That's what I'm going to do. Two last questions for you. One is, there's so much happening. Will you need to potentially go raise more money, or do you feel confident that your cash resources are going to take you well through this entire process?
Well, the answer is yes and yes and yes and yes, or yes and no. We are well capitalized because of the late funding that we did with H&H. So we have, you said 10 million, but currently it is 6 million because we've been spending since the last.
Yeah, I was going off the last financial statement, right? But of course, you give that update.
Yeah, we just published the recent ones, and we have 6 million US in our cash flow. And that can take us at least a year from now with, executing all our plans. Still, we always take money and we always want to accelerate the growth. And this money would always be for acceleration, not for anything else. So we definitely will and intend to make another fundraising round. I believe that in the next quarter, something like that. We don't want to get to the last moment with running out of money. But
it's so powerful when you have your partner that also has a right of first refusal, so that they can.
No, they don't exactly have the right of first refusal. They have a right to negotiate. That's more accurate.
Okay, all right. But that's a good sign when you have a partner that says, "Hey, don't go do any financing until we've had a chance to sit down and negotiate." That's especially when it's a division of a multinational of a $1 billion conglomerate.
Absolutely. H&H are extremely excited about us, and we are excited about them. It's a win-win situation. Absolutely.
And I would think, without putting words in your mouth, but business acumen and experience coming into the equation, that now that you're heading into commercialization stage, I would think that they really want to be by your side. So I would think that would be a pretty easy raise at the end of the day. Last question. Your share price performance. We're not going to talk about share price targets or anything like that. They're going to get you in trouble, but you must be happy with your company's share price performance in 2020. What's your message to your shareholders who have stuck by your side all this time? Because I know so many of them text me, email me, DM me on LinkedIn when I post the articles about ELSE and all that, and they're saying, "I'm a shareholder. I love this company." You got great shareholders. What's your message? What's your message to all of them and their enthusiasm level?
First of all, I really want to thank all of them for the support and the faith that they gave in ELSE for such a long time, and it's not taken for granted. And we love our investors and shareholders, and we really are very responsive to them. They can tell. Every question, every query, everything is answered right on spot. So we are extremely excited and happy about what happened to the share price and whatever the performance that we did throughout all the aspects of the company. But I think it's a result of course, our shareholders, the support of our shareholders. We have long-term players. In our lots of people really believe in that company, even beyond just making money. If you said that before, I think a lot of people, and I'm really serious about that. I'm not being cynical. I think there's more to that than just making money. Some people really believe that we are doing the right thing, and we should do that, and they want us to expand just because of the impact that we're bringing. So this is one thing. So I think they're really a big part of our success. And the second thing is we've been performing because we've been dedicated, and we've been we've been working day and night just to achieve the goal. And it's all the time, and it will continue to be so. even if we reach a, you know, better position and we go higher, we'll never keep working and satisfying and working for our investors to achieve that goal. And that's what we've been doing. And I think that they've seen the, you know, the whole process and developing month by month, that we were delivering and we were executing everything that we promised, and we were building the story. And it's not just a story; it's
real.
It's real, and it's happening. And I cannot say anything else but that. You just need to work hard and believe in what you're doing, and you're going to get there. That's what I think.
Well, Hamatal, the recent news this week and the past 2-3 weeks clearly demonstrates that you're not just talking. And I think it's pretty easy for me to speak on behalf of everybody, even though, you know, I can't hear anybody. It's not like this is live or I can't see them, but I think just the feeling and the vibe that comes out of this, I think it's pretty safe to say that everybody's looking forward to this next phase of commercialization. And hats off to you. Probably thanks you and your team for making it through, you know, the COVID disruption almost unscathed. And congratulations. Cannot wait to see what the next 12 months brings on the business side of Else Nutrition.
Thank you so much, George, for having this deep understanding of what we're doing and sharing this with us. And we'll meet again soon.
Hey, that's a precursor right there. That probably tells me there's more to come. So thanks for kind of putting us on the edge of our seat with that one, Hamatal. Thank you. And to everyone at home, you've been watching Hamatal Yitzhak, maybe even listening to her via podcast, because we are on Spotify, Google, Apple, and all your favorite podcast sites. She's a CEO of Else Nutrition, as you know by now. BABY is the symbol on the TSX venture. BABYF for our friends in America. You've heard what she had to say. You've watched what she had to say. You know, all of us are still spending a lot of time at home. There's time to put down Netflix, time to put down the social media scrolling, and do an even deeper dive into Else Nutrition, especially for those of you who have just discovered this company. Get to Agoracom first. Read about the company on the profile page. We've really taken these very complicated concepts and broken them down into real, simple understanding subheadings there so you can understand everything. And then link over to the company's site so you can do even more due diligence. And hopefully you've discovered your next great, I'm going to say your next great paradigm shifting, disruptive company for the decade, because I think that's what we may have on hand. And I hope that's what you agree and you find as well. Have a fantastic day. Hamatal, to you from Israel, wishing you a fantastic day and evening over there as well.
Thank you. Have a great day too.
Same to you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.